Your approach to healing is to integrate pain and struggle into a journey of meaning. That's fascinating. How does that happen?
I think a lot of people, when they're coming to therapy, believe that the therapist's job is to make the pain go away. I don't think that's possible. I think that absolutely, if someone is coming and they are depressed and they are anxious, we want to try to minimize that. We want to contain that. We want to give them resources to manage that differently. But ultimately, the pain that someone is feeling in their life is part of being human. I absolutely believe that to suffer is part of being human. And in fact, a lot of people have said that to avoid suffering is often where we get neurotic. And if we don't embrace it and try to figure out what it means for us and who we are, we're likely to miss an opportunity. So a lot of people want to jump over the pain. I want us to go through the pain and try to figure out what it means to tell a story that incorporates that pain.
So I don't quite understand. What do you do with the pain? If you're in a lot of pain, you want that pain to lessen. You want it to subside. So if I embrace it, in my mind, that's sort of accepting it and living with it. Is that what you mean?
I think acceptance is certainly part of it. I think acceptance is probably down the road from the first thing you need to do is recognize that you have pain. A lot of people who come to therapy, especially if it's their first time in therapy, have never told anyone how bad their pain is or how much they are suffering. They've never said it to anyone. So the first step is they have to own it enough to come to therapy. Then they have to tell the story to me, the therapist, and a huge part of my job is to just listen to that story. And then a lot of what is incorporating the pain is we sit with it together. A lot of times we sit in silence. A lot of times someone will weep. So we make the story real and we acknowledge that there's a lot of pain here. And it's there for a reason. You're in pain because things have happened that have hurt you. And that's such a critical part of it.
Are there times when people don't know that story, their own story? For example, they have pain, but they don't really know what caused it, maybe either because they don't remember it or because they're not self-aware enough.
Yes, that happens a lot. And oftentimes, particularly if people present to therapy with a history of addictions, if people come into therapy with chronic pain, these are the kinds of things that can be expressing emotional pain, even if a person doesn't recognize that that is emotional pain that may be contributing to their physical pain or to their addictions. So someone will come in and say, I need to stop drinking. And pretty soon we realize very quickly, oh, you were abused as a child. Let's start telling that story. It's a lot more complicated, and that doesn't mean that a person might not also need a 12-step program, for example, to help them stop engaging in self-destructive behavior, but that's not my job. My job is to help them understand why they have been drinking to survive for a really long time.
You said minimizing, ignoring, or eliminating the pain before understanding it can actually make the struggle worse. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, I absolutely believe that we are given pain as humans for a reason, and it's to give us information about our lives, about something that we need to change, about something that we are being called to do that we need to start pursuing. You know, I'm frustrated. I want to be an actor, but I don't live in a city where there's a lot of acting, so that frustration drives you to move to a city where you have more opportunity. Or I'm in pain because I'm in a relationship where someone is treating me badly, but I somehow believe I deserve that. So oftentimes coming into therapy is you have to figure, you don't want to just make the pain go away. You want to say, what is it trying to tell you about your life? And intentionality and change that you need to make in your life to be living the life that you are called to be a more whole person, to be a more complete person.
It sounds like some people need to discover what it is they're called to.
Yes.
That's an interesting journey, and it must be really rewarding.
It can
when
be
you
very rewarding.
Actually see a person thrive, right?
It can be very rewarding to see a person thrive. That is absolutely right.
Yeah. And how can people get in touch with you?
People can find me at my website, joanneweidmantherapy.com, and the best way to reach me is through